Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're joining us today. Because let's be honest, if you've opened any social media app recently, you've probably just been hit by an absolute tidal wave of fitness advice. Eat this, don't eat that. Buy this incredibly expensive supplement. It is completely overwhelming. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're taking a structured, science-based look at the absolute fundamentals of beginner nutrition to finally debunk the fitness misinformation flooding the internet right now. Get ready to unlearn some pretty toxic habits.
Does this sound familiar? You're just starting out, kind of trying to get healthy, and suddenly, boom, you've got influencers screaming at you to weigh every single grain of rice and hit macros that seem mathematically impossible. Well, here's the reality. So much of the advice floating around out there is designed for advanced athletes, not everyday people stepping into the gym for the very first time. But don't worry, by the end of this explainer, we're going to clarify exactly what you actually need to focus on to see real results. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We're going to tackle the 3 biggest nutritional mistakes beginners make. Mistake 1, the high-protein trap. Mistake 2, demonizing carbohydrates. Mistake 3, extreme calorie cuts. And finally, we'll talk about how to build muscle and strength first. All right, moving to mistake 1, the high-protein trap. Let's look at why eating like an advanced bodybuilder is actually hurting your progress.
Look, we've all seen those videos telling you to choke down just massive amounts of protein. But let's look at the biology here for a second. An advanced bodybuilder? Yeah, they might actually need 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Why? Because they literally have the dense, established muscle mass to actually absorb it. An absolute beginner simply lacks that muscle. You know, protein is used to repair broken down muscle tissue. So if you don't have that muscle yet, flooding your system with like 200 grams of protein doesn't build muscle faster. Actually, it just goes straight to your stomach, causes some serious indigestion, and honestly, completely wastes your hard-earned cash on expensive supplements.
So what should your number actually be? Well, it's exactly this, 0.6. Yep, 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That is a perfect, scientifically sound starting point for a beginner. To put that into perspective for you, if you weigh around 110 pounds, you really only need about 70 to 80 grams of protein initially. That's it. It's totally achievable, and best of all, it won't absolutely wreck your digestive system.
Because here's the thing. Muscle building is an incredibly slow, steady process. You don't just go to sleep weighing 50 kilos and magically wake up at 100 kilos, right? If gaining just 5 kilos takes a full year of hard work, why on earth would you maximize your protein intake in week 1? It just doesn't make sense. So, in month 1, start around that 0.6 to 0.7 grams. By month 6, as you actually start to see some initial muscle growth, you can bump it up slightly. And then by year 1, you can gradually reach up to 0.8 grams per pound. Essentially, you're scaling your food slowly as you scale your body.
And honestly, here is the absolute best news. You do not need to abandon your everyday cultural foods to get fit. A regular Indian diet is a fantastic, powerful foundation. Look at these staples: roti, sabzi, dal, rice, paneer, soybeans. You don't need to throw the whole shebang away for, sad boiled chicken and broccoli. No way. You just take this incredible, sustainable base and add a few eggs or just a very slight amount of extra protein. That's really how you build a healthy habit that actually lasts a lifetime without all the unnecessary stress.
Okay, moving on to mistake number 2, demonizing carbohydrates. Let's uncover the truth about your body's primary energy source.
Now, if there is one fitness trend on the internet that absolutely needs to stop, it's this intense fear of carbs. This crazy idea that they just instantly turn into fat or dangerously spike your blood sugar. Forget what the latest fad diet tells you. Science shows us you actually need them to create ATP or adenosine triphosphate. That's the high-energy molecule your muscles absolutely require for explosive movements during weight training. And guess what? It is fueled directly by carbohydrates. If you want to lift heavy, run fast, or jump high, you literally need this molecule.
So here's how it all plays out inside your body. First, you consume carbohydrates. Then your body breaks them down into glucose, basically sugar. Now pay close attention to step 3, because this is crucial. That glucose first goes to fuel your vital internal functions. Your heart pumping, your lungs expanding, your brain thinking, they all demand glucose. It's only after those life-sustaining organs are fed that the remaining glucose goes to step 4, actually powering your explosive gym workouts. Think about it. If you starve yourself of carbs, your basic bodily functions are going to struggle, leaving you with absolutely zero energy in the tank when you finally step into the gym.
Now, of course, this doesn't mean you should be eating 20 rotis a day, right? It's all about making smart choices. Whole fruits, 1 or 2 a day are fantastic.
They give you energy plus vital nutrients. Oats, poha, rice, and dal are all excellent clean sources. The big takeaway here is just to respect these healthy options. Don't go ruining them by deep frying them in oil or dumping a ton of processed sugar into your meals. Keep it clean and keep it balanced.
So what does that balanced approach actually look like? Well, your plate doesn't need to be entirely meat, and it definitely shouldn't be just a massive mountain of rice either. A really great rule of thumb for beginners is letting carbohydrates comfortably make up about 30 to 35% of your overall daily intake, with the other 65% coming from proteins and fats. It's that sweet spot. It gives you the energy to function and train without totally overloading your system.
Which brings us to mistake 3, extreme calorie cuts. We really need to talk about the danger of starving yourself for quick results.
You know, so many beginners adopt these incredibly punishing diets, totally believing that eating next to nothing is a fast track to results. But honestly, please remember this. Don't try to become Rambo in 6 months. It sounds funny, right? But it is a massive reality check. As a beginner, you just don't have underlying muscle yet. You might have a little higher body fat. You probably don't even know proper exercise form or the difference between a good muscle burn and a bad injury yet. Slashing your calories to extreme lows isn't going to magically turn you into an action hero. It's just going to make you absolutely miserable. Let's contrast these two realities for a second. A hard calorie deficit for a beginner, it almost always leads to confusion, a total lack of energy, and ultimately quitting, just because it is completely unsustainable. But on the flip side, eating at caloric maintenance, or even a slight caloric surplus, that gives your body the vital energy it requires to actually learn how to lift heavy, build strength, and fuel real muscle growth. Eating slightly more than you burn right at the start is actually a good thing. It's a real game changer.
Which transitions us perfectly to our final section, build muscle and strength first. It's time to shift your focus from cutting down to growing up.
I really want you to internalize this 4-step mindset, because this is exactly how professional coaches train people in the real world. Step 1, eat enough to actually feel your body. Step 2, get in the gym and lift heavy weights while focusing intensely on good form. Step 3, develop real baseline strength and muscle hypertrophy over time. And only then, step 4, focus on cutting calories or doing a diet deficit. Why in that order? Because it takes time to understand how your unique body reacts to training and nutrition. You really have to earn that foundation first.
So, I want to leave you with a final question to think about. Will you ditch the confusing internet hype and start building your foundation with realistic, culturally sustainable habits today? You have the structured knowledge now. You honestly don't need to waste money on endless protein powders, you don't need to fear the rice and dal on your dinner plate, and you definitely don't need to starve yourself. Trust your everyday foods, eat enough to actually feel your workouts, and focus on slow, steady, long-term strength. Because at the end of the day, that is the real secret to fitness. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go hit the gym, and we'll see you next time.